Hey guys, it's me Sam, and welcome to another ghost story from around the world. Overlooking the Rocky Mountain National Park, the Stanley Hotel is a 142 guest room Georgian neoclassical style hotel in Estes, Colorado, and it is famous for its old world charm. It was the creation of freelance Oscar Stanley and opened on July the 4th, 1909. Freeland Stanley was one half of the inventors of the Stanley steam automobile, and they produced their first car in 1897, which made them very, very rich. However, in May 1903, Freeland was stricken with tuberculosis and was given 3 months to live. At that time, the most recommended treatment for tuberculosis was fresh, dry air with lots of sunshine and a hearty diet. So with that, he and his wife Flora decided to go and spend the summer in Estes Park, the most perfect place to not only get plenty of fresh air and sunshine, but some nice food too. Eventually they fell in love with the place so much that they decided to stay there, and they had a small mansion called Rockside built not far from the site of where the future hotel would stand. By 1907, Freeland had recovered completely, and he had also by then decided to turn Estes Park into a resort town. The thing is though, Flora yearned to be able to entertain her friends as she had done so at their former home in New England, but their new mansion was just not big enough, and with that Freeland bought land from Lord Dunraven, and so construction began on Hotel Stanley, a 48-room grand hotel with each guest room having its own bathroom, heating, telephone and electricity, with thanks to the power plant and dam that Stanley had also built nearby. There, Freeland and Flora truly enjoyed hosting their friends and did so for many years, despite the fact that it is said that Freeland operated the hotel as more of a pastime, as he once remarked that he spent more money than he made each summer. In 1926, Freeland sold the hotel to the Stanley Corporation, a private company established to manage its assets in Estes Park. However, without his fortune to pad out the annual budget, the corporation soon filed for bankruptcy, and so Freeland was forced to buy the hotel back in 1929 at a low price. However, in 1930 he sold it again, this time to the hotel magnate Roe Emery, who remained the owner until 1947. Although Freeland no longer managed the hotel, he and Flora continued to reside each year at their small mansion nearby. In 1939, Flora suffered a stroke and died soon afterwards. The following year, on October 2nd, Freeland suffered heart failure and died aged 91 years old. Despite a peaceful early history, in the years following the publication of The Shining by Stephen King, the hotel has gained a reputation for frequent paranormal activity. Over the years, every single room has experienced something strange, from clothes being mysteriously unpacked to items being moved on their own. Lights turn themselves on and off, and the sound of children giggling and running around the halls on the fourth floor are often heard. Legend has it that Stephen King himself encountered these ghostly children during a stay here one night with his wife in 1973. They were given room 217, and they were the only guests staying there that night, as it was coming towards the end of the season. As soon as they entered room 217, he was convinced that they were not alone, and his experience at the Stanley Hotel frightened him so much that he was inspired to write The Shining in the first place. Though Freelan and Flora Stanley have long passed over, many believe that they have never really left the hotel, as the ghost of Freelan has been reported as hovering behind employees at the reception desk, as well as walking through the main lobby, and also usually around closing time of the bar, leaning against the wall with his arms folded as he watches the staff perform their duties. The ghost of Flora has also been heard in the early hours of the morning playing the piano in the music room, much to the annoyance of those staying in the rooms above it. She has also been seen gazing out the windows in the music room, waiting for her guests to arrive. A lot of paranormal activity is said to take place in the music room, and it is said to be haunted by one of the most well-known of ghosts here. Paul worked at the hotel from 1995 until 2005, and he died of an heart attack en route to hospital from the hotel. He was a jack of all trades, and one of his duties at the hotel was to enforce an 11 p.m. curfew. Many guests and their employees heard him saying, "Get out!" late at night, and on one occasion a construction worker reported being nudged while he was sanding the floors. Tour groups have also reported seeing a flashlight flickering at them, obviously Paul doing his rounds, as he would have done when alive. Another ghost said to haunt the music room is Lucy, a young girl aged around 13 who was possibly a runaway and sought refuge at the hotel in the basement of the music hall. It is that she came across some plans to begin some sort of construction there and was forced to leave. That night the temperature fell below freezing and suddenly she froze to death. Ever since then she has been seen or heard in the music room, where she likes to tamper with the lighting. Recently, a photo was taken during a tour, and a photo captured the figure of a young girl wearing a pink dress in the music room. There were no children on the tour, and no one that was part of it was wearing pink. In 1911, Mrs. Elizabeth Smith was a loyal employee at Stanley's and worked at the hotel as a chambermaid. One of her duties on the night of June the 25th was to light the gas line in room 217, which was originally the presidential suite. Now the reason why she was asked to do this was because the electricity went off during a thunderstorm. However, during the day someone had tested the gas line in that room but had forgotten to turn it back off. So when Mrs. Smith went to light the gas line, it exploded, taking out not only room 217, but also the rooms on the 3 upper floors above it. In fact, the entire west wing was completely destroyed. Luckily, Mrs. Smith was sent crashing through the floor into the McGregor dining room below it. However, she did suffer 2 broken ankles. Amazingly, she survived the fall. After this unfortunate incident, she was promoted to head chambermaid, and needless to say, she remained a loyal employee at the hotel for many more years until she died. For some reason, since Mrs. Smith's death in the 1950s, 217 has become a hotbed for paranormal activity, and it is said to be haunted by her ghost. She is known to hang up clothes, put away guest suitcases, and to tidy up the room, and guests staying in there reported being woken up in the night with a poke to the ribs if they leave the room messy. It is also said that she's been seen walking through the room and vanishing into the wall where the connecting door to the adjoining room used to be. On several occasions, a married couple staying in the room have also reported feeling a cold presence come between them in the bed. so as to prevent premarital activities. A shadowy figure has been seen in room 302, walking near the walls, and photos in that room were also known to fly off the walls. The fourth floor is where the children of the wealthy guests and their nannies stayed, and the sounds of children playing and running have been reported on many an occasion, as well as the sound of children whispering being heard in the closets and the guest rooms. One of these young entities is a little boy who tries to wake up living children because he wants to play with them. Another ghostly little boy is said to go to great lengths to be noticed and likes turning on televisions really loudly and messing with the lights as well as other things. The ghost of a little girl has been seen peeking at people on the grand staircase, and recently a photo was taken where it is believed that they may have captured the ghost of that little girl walking down the stairs. As mentioned before, the land that the hotel was built upon was bought from Lord Dunraven, an Irish scoundrel who stole items and property any way he could. He also ran the local brothel, and it is said he used to approach young nannies in the fourth floor break room, offering them the opportunity to go and work for him in his brothel so as to provide them with a second income. It is said that the ghost of Lord Dunraven still hangs around in room 401, the old break room, and that he has stolen guest jewellery that is usually found in the room's closet. The closet door also has a tendency of opening and closing by itself, and on occasions unsuspecting female guests have gone into the closet and have felt someone breathing down their necks or touching them on their shoulders or waists. Basically, Lord Dunraven is still as much of a pervert in death as he was when he was alive. In room 407, people have reported being tucked into bed in this room, and one night a little boy said that he kept kicking the covers back off him, but they kept coming up throughout the night. His mum was pretty much shocked by this, as she had not woken in the night, so she wasn't responsible for covering him. So who was? Another guest staying in the room reported feeling someone sitting on the edge of the bed, but when she turned the light on to see who it was, no one was there. She did, however, see an indentation, as if someone had just got up from the bed. Several guests have reported seeing a man wearing old-fashioned clothes standing in the corner of room 413. As well as that, in room 418, the covers on the beds get removed during the night, and hangers are known to move on their own. The bathroom light likes to turn itself on and off, and on one occasion a little girl staying in a room with her mother reported being tickled by a little boy. When she asked him to stop it, he did. She said that she was not frightened of him, and it may be possibly the same little boy who just wants to play with someone. If you have the guts to stay in room 428, it has been reported that footsteps have been heard by guests above them, and furniture moves around by itself. A ghostly cowboy has also been seen at the corner of the bed, and one night a couple staying in the room reported awaking to find this Wild West cowboy pacing at the end of the bed. After watching him for a few minutes, they politely asked him to leave, which he did, but not before leaning over the woman so as to kiss her on the forehead. Other female guests have also reported waking up to find this cowboy leaning in to kiss them on their foreheads too. In 2016, a visitor was taking photos of the grand staircase, and upon reviewing them, spotted the ghostly figure of a woman at the top of the stairs. At the time of taking the photos, there was no one present on the stairs. So who or what did he capture? Spooky. And that concludes today's ghost story. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up, and if you would like to leave a comment, please feel free to do so by leaving them down below. I'm going to go now, guys. I have many more other ghost stories to research about and to share with you. I'll see you soon. Until then, you take care.